Happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. SJ Poor here and Little Face Brewing. I hope you guys are enjoying your Homebrew Wednesday as I am. I'm sipping on a unsweetened iced tea from the Mickey D's. One of the things that I tend to forget to do on brew days is eat. Today was no exception. So before left to run her errands and do all her stuff. She's got to run into Lexington and do a bunch of other stuff today here. And Central. I'm so used to saying South Central Pennsylvania. We're no longer there. We are Central Kentucky. You might hear water running in the background. Got a batch going. Doing a sort of an experiment. So, start off with the bad news. That chiller right there took a dump on me. No longer works. Which sucks because in that fermenter is my Irish Red. That has had to ferment out ambient, which end of August, beginning of September, dog days in the garage. I had my air conditioner on doing what it could do, and that was about it. Check the temperature here. I am 40. Okay. I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen because it had been being wonky for the last couple brews that I did. I mean, it worked great when we first moved here to Kentucky. No problem. I even was able to cold crash on both sides and the whole 9 yards, and then all of a sudden it just wouldn't work. So just wouldn't chill down the reservoir. Pumps and everything were coming on because I thought the pumps weren't running, but you can't hear these pumps run. They're just quiet. So that's the bad news. We're hoping that the Irish Red is going to be okay. It should be. I guess that's kind of why I chose to do the Irish Red. There's a little bit of acetyl, whatever it is, a little bit of apple. Shouldn't hurt it too much. So she's in secondary right now. I did a yeast dump on it the other day. So we're trucking along. It is what it is. So when in Rome, if you don't have a chiller or ways to control your fermentation, then brew beers that you don't need to. So, going to Kveik. And I wanted to do a double batch. I'm going with my older fermenters, and you can't see them. They're on the other side of the chiller. The Fur Monsters that have the big tops on them. I want to ferment in those. Doing the Kveik Voss, and very simple grain bill. It's 24 pounds of this for a 10-gallon batch. 24 pounds of 2-row. I threw in a pound of honey malt, and a pound of carapils for head retention. So very simple. And I threw the honey in there because I want this to be a juice bomb. First hop addition that's going in is and at 30 minutes. There's no bittering hops. We're going to go with Calypso. Calypso is going to be pear, apple, tropical fruit, melon with an alpha acid of 20 to 14%. 2 ounces of those go in at 30. Then at 15, we're going to put 2 ounces of Zamba in. And it's another juicy tropical fruit, stone fruit, candy, and orange tangerine. That's a 9.2 alpha. And then at 5 minutes, we are going Sabro. 2 ounces of Sabro, fruity and complex aromatics from Neo-Mexicanus ancestry. Aha, yeah, that. 2 ounces go in at 5 minutes, and then another 2 ounces of Sabro go in the whirlpool. And then I'm going to move that over into fermenters. I'm going to ferment the one out with M12, I think it is. Mangrove Jack's Voss. And the other one, I'm going to do something a little bit different. It can also be fermented out at a higher temperature, so we're going with Saison. And I can ferment out up to 90 degrees. I can keep this garage in the mid 70s. So that's what we're doing. We're going to let them ferment with the air conditioner. That way I don't have to push the air conditioner quite as hard. We're kind of cool today. Next couple days it's supposed to be about the same. So it's not going to be crazy hot. So yeah, so we'll do a juicy IPA and a Saison. What do you think? That sounds interesting. So it's going to be kind of a little bit of an experiment to see what these two yeasts are going to do to the exact same grain bill. So now I think the difference is I'm going to do Trident, 2 ounces of Trident at dry hop in the Voss and the Kveik. And I don't think I'm going to do any dry hop at all in the Saison. I'm just going to let it roll because I do want that yeast to do its thing. I want to have a Saison. It's summertime. I mean, it's the end of summer, but it's still summer. So let me get back to it here. I need to check my temps and be soon running water into that mash. Well, got the water over into the mash tun. What I did this time, what I had been doing in the past was heating all my water up in the HLT, but it kind of slowed me down a little bit. So I decided to adopt Mike Dean's way, and I've done it his way before. Well, he'll put all his water he needs in HLT, and then he'll also put in his strike water in his boil kettle. He'll heat up his HLT water up to like 160 some degrees and then shut it off, right? And then go ahead and heat up his strike water in his boil kettle to get it up to his desired temperature before you put it over in the mash tun. That does save some time when you do it that way. So that's what I did this time. And so far so good. I have noticed though that I need to recalibrate my temperature probes, but I'm compensating for that. So I have my thermometer in my mash tun right now. My target is 150. I am a couple degrees off on the mash tun, and I have the HLT set at, for the mash tun I have, the HLT I've set at 155, so that I can get that nice and warmed up, and I'm already circulating, so that's all good. For all intents and purposes, I'm mashing, but I don't start my clock until I'm right at 150. I'm actually going to mash low. I'm going to mash at 150 this time, and I might go ahead and do the mash out temp too and run her up before I finish her off. Kind of lock those flavors in. So far so good. Got the wort gathered up. Got my hoses hooked up into the jaded, right there, Cyclone. Set up for the whirlpool. That fermenter is just sitting there doing its thing. And those will be the fermenters for today's extravaganza. So yeah, it's gonna have a mess of Calypso, Zamba, Sabro, and then Trident. The Trident is only the dry hop, is the only dry hop that goes in the IPA. The Saison side, no dry hop. We're just going to let the yeast do its thing. I'm all set up, drinking water, watching college football, baby. LSU, South Carolina. South Carolina is up 33-29. And they only got 1:48 left in this game. So we'll catch up in a bit. Ooh. Yeah. There's the sample, 1052. is where she was at. Everything's cleaned up. The worst part of a brew day, the absolute worst part of the brew day, is cleaning up. Especially when you're a dumbass and you open the wrong valve and you shoot wort all over your floor. Yeah, it sucked. And of course, they still have those little thingies on the valve so that you can't just quick grab it. You got to fucking fiddle fart with it and get it up and move it over. Anyway, spilled about a quart out on the ground while I was cussing at myself. Damn it, pour. Why'd you do that? Anyways, we're in fermenter. One fermenter has Saison. The other fermenter has Kveik Voss. Both have this in it. Oh, oh, oh. I am so glad I decided to put that honey in there. Oh, the honey malt, not honey, honey malt. I love the taste of honey malt in a beer. I just do. Those of you that follow me for a while know that there for a while, every beer I made had honey malt in it. I almost feel like going back to that. There's a wonderful malt sweetness in there. Not really picking out the fruity tones and stuff, but they'll come through once fermentation starts to hit. Oh boy. You should be able to see fermentation tomorrow. So yeah, it's next morning, and as you can see, these guys are kicking butt. That's one of the things I love about these yeasts is they're fast and they're violent. They are kicking it. Absolutely. And it's 70, it's actually not bad, 76 in here. So, yeah, they're well on their way. Okay, so here it is, actually Wednesday, because I did my brew day, and most of this was filmed on Saturday. So right here, this right here is the juicy IPA. The Saison is behind it, right back there. So I already dry hopped this with Trident. There's going to be no dry hop in the Saison. So this guy is cooking right along. I'm probably going to go ahead and cold crash it. And the way I want to do that, and I think I have enough room, pretty sure I do, is in that keezer over there. I'm going to go ahead and just put it in the keezer so that all the heavies drop out of it. Try and clean it up as much as possible. That way it's ready for next weekend when I have guests. That's it for this week, folks. It's my Homebrew Wednesday, brew day, And oh, haven't done a brew day vidya in a little while. This is SJ Port, Little Face Brewing. Enjoy the fruits of your labor, folks. Brew beer. Brew wonderful beer. Cheers.